Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, Cody Delmendo. We are just 6 minutes late. We apologize for our tardiness.
It's my fault.
Like the airlines.
My fault today. It's not Cody Del Slowpoke's fault today. It's whatever. Isn't that what he calls you?
Wow.
Isn't that what he calls you?
Wow.
I said it's not. I said it's not your fault.
Comes in late and fires the first shot.
No, that's what Blue Dabs calls you.
Blue Dabs calls me Del Softo, which again I respect because it is good.
He said Del Slowpoke before.
He's come up with all kinds.
But
of
I'm saying it's not your fault. It's my fault today.
Steven, at what point am I going to have to sit in the middle seat? That's what we're getting.
Actually, it's not even my fault.
The way the shots are being fired left and right.
I feel like that's where the people who are late sit. So maybe if you show up late one day.
It's actually not even my fault. It's these high schoolers going back to school, taking all the free parking on the street.
I'm just saying, Ryan, we all park the same way you do every day.
Yeah, well, I couldn't find it. I saw Cody walking down the alley. I'm like, where the hell did he park?
I parked on Monroe, actually.
And Cody got here like a half hour ago, so you're not kidding. You were really looking.
I was literally like a good half hour trying to drive around trying to find a spot.
West Loop is a tough spot to find parking, I will say that.
Yes.
Damn high schoolers, man.
And there's nothing worse in the city of Chicago when you go to park and you see those white signs with the little string holding them up on the tree. Because you're driving by and you're trying to look and see, like, what are the dates on that? And are they going to screw me even if it's not in that time zone?
Yeah.
Well, and then I tried to park on Madison. You know, they have the pay for park. I'm like, oh, it's easy enough, whatever. All of a sudden, that's the whole street's closed because, like, street cleaner or something. I'm like, what?
No, I think it's tree trimming this time.
Tree trimming,
a lot
whatever.
of times
like,
they'll want to close it down.
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm getting screwed.
Cody Del Tardy making the show late.
Maybe
like
that's
always.
what it
No,
is.
see,
Del
Blue Dabs,
Tardy.
it was not.
He normally says Del Softo. If he's somewhere in there and he says it. Dog ate his paper and the train
Gary
is
says
late.
we're supposed to make you do a shot of Malort.
Slow Mendo. Okay.
We've got the Malort on the table. There is a shot glass on the table. I'm not going to encourage the Malort on the show.
I will not.
Especially since all three of us did drive today.
I will not take a Malort shot on the show today.
He's going to pass. You know who should take a shot of Malort today? Carlos Correa, because he's finally got the deal done. I don't want to spend the entire podcast talking about Correa. In fact, I hope this is the last time we ever have to talk about Carlos Correa again.
Yeah.
But he finally got it done, and I did see the quote from him saying basically, he's like, I had some doctors telling me, you know, everything was fine, I was healthy. I had other doctors saying not so fast. And that the funny part was, he said he's never had treatment on his ankle. He's never had pain in his ankle. He's never missed a game because of his ankle. And so it was all news to him. Obviously, it cost him millions of dollars. But I think it's kind of interesting that he ended up back at the Twins. I still don't understand how it all worked out that way.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, I'm over it from the whole Cubs perspective. Like, it's fine, whatever. I'm not even really upset about the fact that they didn't get him now. It's more of just the other things that they didn't get. So it was just added on. It was icing on the cake. Yeah, I guess we're gonna see. Like, I was watching a video on TikTok this morning while I was on the bike at the gym, these guys who do a Cubs podcast were talking. They were talking about Correa, and they were they were saying, like, from a Cubs perspective, you know, like maybe they did dodge a bullet, right? Like, we're gonna see.
They definitely dodged a bullet at the Correa for 300 or 350.
Right.
Definitely.
I don't know if they I still am not sure if they dodged a bullet at taking the gamble of 200 for 6 years.
I mean, if he's injury prone over the
the
next 6 years, then yeah, I guess you could say that the Cubs dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I guess we'll never really know until the end of these contracts, right? Like,
we're old.
There's no telling right now that Dansby Swanson's next 7 years aren't a whole lot better than Correa's. You never really know until it happens. But
or he could be, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but he could have a ton of injuries. Anybody could.
And if he does play well, at least he's in the American League. So
there you go.
Even though we're going to be playing like every team now, but not going to have to play the Twins, 13 times a year.
No.
So
it'll be like I kind of rooting for Correa now after he kind of got screwed this whole process because of a physical for an injury that happened 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And that hasn't caused any issues in the last 9 years, and like teams, I guess, rightfully so, are concerned about it, but it's also like he got screwed by 2 different teams, and that really tanked his market. And then he should have just gone with the Twins, back to the Twins in the first place, because they did not care about the ankle thing. So
he lost money on the deal, but it's hard to say he got screwed when he made, what, $35 million last year, and he's going to make maybe 270 out. Like, he's going to be fine.
Isn't it weird that this wasn't an issue last year, though, when he signed?
That's the weird part.
Because I remember there was a point in the season, in the 2022 season, where he gets hit on the leg, and he said his leg went numb, and he said he got hit exactly on where that plate was in his leg. And then all of a sudden it's a huge issue. But he played the next day, and I think I saw the numbers. His slash line was like his average was 346 from that point on. So obviously it didn't hinder him at all.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a plate does, is right? It's supposed to protect it.
The Twins didn't have a problem with it, and they don't have a problem
Still
with
don't have
it.
a problem with it. Well,
So
they made it official this morning, so it's like it's a done deal. He's going back to Minnesota. So no, the
saga is finally over, and I do genuinely hope this is the last day we're talking about Carlos Correa on this podcast.
It won't be
until the Twins come to Wrigley or until the Cubs go to Target Field. Like, I'm glad it's over for that sake.
Now Gary is wondering who the third baseman for the Cubs is.
Right now, it looks like it's going to be Morel, Wisdom, maybe a little bit of McKinstry in there too.
That's kind of what I like, the not platoon, but like kind of third base committee.
It's going to be a mixture of those 3, I think.
Because I don't, unless Morel really pops off this year, I don't think he's going to be set at the everyday third base. I think he'll move around the way they needed him to last year. Wisdom may end up playing a little bit of first base, moving back and forth between the corners, and McKinstry can play all over the infield.
Morel, I think, has the defensive qualities to play a pretty good third base, but can he become a better thrower from third to first?
Because he has a really good arm. It's just the
He's
accuracy
just a little wild.
The accuracy was a problem from there last year, and I don't. Most of his errors at third base were throwing errors.
And would you have better value out of Christopher? Let's take the obvious and say if he plays at one position every day, you would think he'd be more comfortable defensively at that position, right? So instead of playing short, third, outfield, all over the place, if you put Morel just at third base, does his defense automatically improve at third base because he's playing it every day? I would say that's likely. Okay. So do you get more value out of Morel playing third base every day because you've improved his defense? If his hitting keeps up with what he was doing when he first came up, and he plays better defense at third base, do you get better value out of him doing that as opposed to being the super utility guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he would have to hit well enough to do that.
I think there's reason for optimism for Morel to take a step this year. I don't think it'd be a step to where he becomes like an all-star level player, but if you can find yourself your own Ben Zobrist / Kike Hernandez / any other utility player that's just been in the league for a long time, that's just been a productive player, like, there's a lot of value in that. And I think there is reason for optimism on that, just considering how young he is. He's got a lot of tools. Like, he's fast. He has power. And when he gets on base, he makes an impact on the game. And again, just having that ability to play, play a little center field, can play short second base. You know what I mean? Like, there really is a lot of value in a guy like this. It's just, is last year a fluke? That's the big question with him going into this season. And man, I sure as hell hope not, man, because he was a fun guy to watch and he's easy to root for.
Yeah, it was a really good story last year. Just the way he came up, and coming straight from Double-A, like, to being 20. I think he was 22 actually at the time he got called up. Turned 23. I think it was late in June. I think we were in St. Louis actually when his birthday was. And for him to have performed the way he did at such a young age, having really barely any experience above the Double-A level when he came. I think he had played a few games in Triple-A in 2021. So at that point, he really had no experience above Double-A. And then he comes up, plays well. My big thing is, again, going back to the whole third base question, it's also, as much as he is a guy that David Ross can utilize throughout the field and, can play capable defense. I'm not saying he's going to be a Gold Glover at all 5-6 positions he can play, but there's a couple he's really good at and, others that he can fill in when needed be. if he's only playing third base regularly, I wonder how much more that would help him improve in that area versus having to play all these different positions every single day and not really having consistency at one. We heard, from Ian Happ when he won his Gold Glove, like that was a main reason why he feels like his defense improved so much this year is because he just got to play in left field every single day.
Same spot instead of bouncing all over the place.
So I wonder if that's something that could work with Morel, and obviously you don't want to lose his versatility.
But you have so many versatile guys anyway that, like, if Morel's not that guy, and he could go back to being that guy if you have a true third baseman emerge in the farm system or through trade. Yep. But on this current team, I wonder if he has more value just being your everyday third baseman if he can produce offensively enough that you say, that's a guy I want in the lineup every single day.
We haven't talked about this guy except whenever we make jokes, but what about Mastroboni or whatever his last
name?
Miles
Mastroboni?
Yeah, like, is he just up the middle guy depth, or can he play a little third? I don't have his Fangraphs page up right now.
Personally, I don't know, but I thought he did play some third base, no?
I believe he did. I think he's like one of those guys that can play multiple infield spots.
It's like the same guy.
The way that whole thing's gone down, it just kind of strikes me as he's depth, minor league depth, can be a guy that Cubs suffer some injuries at the big league level. They can bring him up and he can fill in at multiple spots. I think when you're looking at third base for right now, you don't really know what's going to – Eric Hosmer, like a 40-man spot supposed to be opened up for him whenever that deal was official. So when you're looking at it right now, like Mastroboni or McKinstry or whoever it is, maybe on the chopping block as far as they're the guys that get DFA'd or whatever to open up that 40-man spot for him. But I would still have McKinstry. If we're going like opening days tomorrow, McKinstry is above Mastroboni. In my opinion, Mastroboni is probably starting the season in AAA and just working his depth.
That's fine.
Hey, we got a super chat, huh?
Look at that.
Dustin Allen, $4.99. Want to hear y'all's opinion. Let's say Madrigal comes out hot this year and looks amazing at the plate. Is his arm strong enough to play third? Well, it's if he transforms his body like me and Ryan talked about yesterday. If
it takes a lot of AG1.
Yeah, like
Steven's a Sox producer as well.
He was a college shortstop, so I mean, if you play short, or he was intended to be a shortstop, that's what he was recruited as. If you could play short, you have a strong arm, but he doesn't profile offensively as a third baseman at all because he's going to hit for zero power.
Yeah, I think that.
Well, he also doesn't profile as a DH, which we're talking about playing as DH either.
He would be the softest hitting DH in MLB history.
Yeah. I think that Madrigal, again, you'd have to come into spring training, and I wouldn't say just completely look different, but he'd have to come in with a lot of improvements, like just eye-popping improvements for me to think, okay, maybe a couple days a week he could play third or something like that. You know what I mean? But right now it looks like second is it.
To get that playing time, sorry to interrupt, he's going to have to be a hit machine.
Yeah.
A hit machine in spring training, in Cactus League action, and then when the season starts, if he's still on the team, he's going to have to, when he gets his opportunities, deliver 2 hits a game.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's going to take for him to prove.
Maybe increase that walk rate a little bit too.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Get on base a little bit more. Now, the other thing that's coming up throughout this week is arbitration's coming, and you're trying to negotiate with a handful of guys that are really kind of key players, some of them, right? And we know that Ian Happ told us that he would have almost no time. He's so busy this week because he's got to deal with this. He's got to deal with the convention. He's dealing with, I saw he's going to be at Obvious Shirts at the convention. Happ's the biggest number on the board for arbitration-eligible Cubs at the estimate 10.6. Is there a number on the board at Happ 10.6, Horner 2.2, Madrigal 1.1, and Cody Hoyer 800,000 that you think absolutely this player should go significantly over or significantly under those figures? You know what I'm saying? I don't see him. It stands out. I mean, Cody Hoyer, 800,000. I don't think that figure is going to be too far off simply because he's been hurt. You know, he's been
play last year.
He's been rehabbing. Yeah. Same thing with Madrigal. Now Nico and Happ's number's probably at 10.6. So you got to figure in the Gold Glove. You got to figure in the All-Star appearance. So really getting an outfield for $10.6 million that is a pretty good deal these days.
Yeah. I would say Hap's 10.6. Just based off sitting here and talking about it.
Yeah, right.
I could see it going over just because.
I could see his argument for over that.
Yeah, because he's coming off an All-Star season. Significant, was just consistent. He had a great year. I think he could argue for more than that, but I don't know. Like I don't know by how much more. Like I don't know what he wants. You know what I mean? So he's Nico at 2.2, right? Like he was really good. We thought he was kind of gypped for the All-Star team. So like I don't know. Like I'd go over.
The numbers are insignificant to me. I think. Like, Ryan, I think the deal is here, you don't want to go to arbitration.
No.
Like, if it's a difference of 20 grand, don't pull the Giolito. You don't want to go to arbitration because that leads to bad feelings between the player, the agent, and the organization, especially if it's somebody like Ian Happ, if you're planning to try and give him an extension. And any of the other guys you're serious about, like Nico, obviously, you don't want Nico mad. Like, do not tick off Nico Horner and his agent over $100,000 here.
Yeah, and that's one of the things when we were talking about Wilson last year, and they got that like 11th hour deal done to avoid arbitration, like literally like the day of or morning of or day before, got a deal done to avoid arbitration. But that whole time it was like they set their numbers. I forgot exactly how far apart they were in negotiations, but I mean it wasn't crazy far apart.
Right.
And as far as what they had filed. But the Cubs do the file, and I forgot what the exact term is, but what they file their number,
right?
And then if they don't agree on it, they go to arbitration. Like that's what they generally do,
right? Be generous,
this front office.
Be generous with it. We gave you our money for Winter Wonderland.
Yeah, there you go. No, but seriously, so when it comes down to it, like Ian Happ has won arbitration against the Cubs before, I believe. So he knows the process. I think he understands, and having gone through it. Ian Happ strikes me as someone has won it before, but has gone through it. Like it feels like he understands the business side of the game enough to not take it personally. Like when you go to the arbitration and the teams are giving their sides of why they should pay you less than what you filed for, it's generally not personal. It's like just these are the reasons why our numbers are lower than what he's asking for. I think Ian Happ can understand that the Cubs obviously like him as a guy and as a player, but just this is not a personal thing. It's a business move. The other guys haven't gone through arbitration, as I believe. I know Nico definitely hasn't. This is his first year. May not be, they can talk, they can ask about it, they can ask Ian Happ about it, but they don't know or Nico, at least Nico specifically, has not been through the process himself. So, as you said, that can create harsh feelings. Between the both sides. Yeah,
I think if you see Happ go to arbitration, bad sign. I mean, you can forget the extension stuff. Like that's the red flag of, hey, we didn't get it done here. We are not seeing eye to eye on what he should be making this year, and so that likely carries over to another conversation about an extension. Now, if you're talking about somebody just said who's going to be the surprise signing right at the beginning of the convention, Gary Ross, I don't think it's somebody coming from the outside, but if the Cubs really wanted to add to the buzz of signing Dansby Swanson, improving the roster some this offseason, if they wanted to do that, then they would reach an extension with one of those guys, whether it's reaching out to Nico and being like, you're our guy. Boom, let's get it done. You're our second baseman of the future. Here's the extension. That's the time to announce it. When you get the fans would all be excited. I don't think it's coming, but that's what I would.
I mean, whether it happens this week or if it happens before spring training, like I would change my grade on the offseason at this point. What the other day I said I had it at like a C+. Like if they just extended a player, I would move it up to
Horner.
Yeah, I would move it up to a B. Hell, maybe even a B+ if I'm just really drinking the Kool-Aid, right? Like because like
if they could get Horner for sure because he's so young. Like if they can get,
I would prefer to have an affordable extension right now.
Well, and the point is, and I think we've talked about it before, is as far as extending Nico right now, you're buying out his all 3 of his arbitration years, and you're also probably giving him a little bit of a bump in those 3 years than what he would make. I mean, if the estimates was it 2.2 million, Steven?
Yeah, 2.2.
2.2 million is estimated for Horner right now. The Cubs probably give him a bump in this year and year 2 and year 3 of what would be his arbitration to kind of offset. Maybe they don't give him exactly what he could get on the market. Maybe it's a little under what he can get in the market 3 years from now. But, hey, we just paid you a lot more money during your arbitration years than you would have gotten from us to begin with. So maybe that offsets, and that's a way to convince him to sign an extension this offseason. As far as we know, like as far as for Happ, last we've heard the Cubs hadn't approached him about the extension yet. I mean, that was when we talked to him after he'd won the Gold Glove, and that kind of said that they may just be doing discussions internally. So that was in November. So things may have changed in the last 2 months. So I guess we'll see what happens with him, Nico. I would say if I'm front office and there's one guy you're trying to extend this offseason, it's probably Nico. Just because you're going into arbitration, let's just get an extension out of the way. You're our building block. Let's give you whatever 6-7 years. Let's keep you around long term, but also get you taken care of these next 3 years as well.
One thing's for sure, while we may not care about the numbers that get tossed around the next couple of days leading up to the convention, the players do, and so do the minor leaguers that are watching it. And so it's a tricky line to walk for the Cubs. If you want to preach to your young players, work hard like Nico Horner and Ian Happ and Cody Hoyer in going through rehab, then you go ahead and you do more than what is necessary, okay? Even though you're paying a little bit more than what you know you would have to potentially in arbitration, it's a message that is sent throughout the organization, all the way, top all the way down to the young guys coming up saying, if you do things right, you're rewarded in our organization. That's a positive carrot to hang in front of major league players and minor league players. Yes, they should be motivated on their own, but when you're down in single A right now and you're looking at it and you say, oh, look at that. They gave him more than what was projected. And they talk about that at spring training. It's a positive sign. Now, the flip side to that is if you give them too much money, or, for instance, if you give Nico too much, are you bumping up his value before you give the extension or sign him to a new deal? So I understand there's a fine line. If I were an organization and in charge of it, I would tend to err on the side of I'm taking care of my players, I'm taking care of our guys, and not only am I taking care of them, I'm bumping it up a little bit. Not to the point where you're pushing luxury taxes and all those things. I'm just saying guys that are in your organization and are doing things the right way, even if they aren't the long-term future of the team, because we don't know if Ian Happ is going to be long-term future. He's going to be a free agent. He might want more, might deserve more than what the Cubs are going to offer him. But if you take care of him now in something like this arbitration, it's a good message to send throughout your organization all the way down to the minor league system.
Especially considering the fact that they couldn't extend any of their main guys this last time around. Or they didn't,
No.
Not that they couldn't. They just did not. Chris Bryant didn't get an extension. Rizzo signed his well before, obviously, the World Series. But he didn't get one after that. Same, Schwarber didn't even get that contract going into 2021. Contreras didn't get extended. All these guys, Javi, didn't get extensions. That sends a bad message. You start getting these guys that you want to build around, like Nico specifically, Happ too. You start giving them extensions. Then you show players in the organization and outside you actually are invested in keeping good players around the organization long term.
And Jim Hendry, like him, hate him, love him, whatever your past feelings are about former general manager Jim Hendry, he had a long stretch of years where not a single Cubs player made it to arbitration. And I think that was a strategic move by them. Like, you don't want to anger players going into a season, and you don't want other players down at the bottom saying, well, they're not taking care of their guys. Yeah. These are their guys.
Well, and it's what we talked about when Lucas Giolito, I think, was on the other side of town, was going to arbitration over like $30,000 or whatever the hell it was. It's like, if that's that $30,000. I mean, I get you don't want to set a precedent where you believe you're overpaying for whatever, but it's just like it's $30,000 or whatever the hell it was. Steven, you probably know better than I do. I don't remember.
I think it was 20.
It might have been 20. There you go. So just give the man the $20,000. You're a billionaire Major League Baseball team owner. That you probably have that sitting in your back pocket right now. I don't even realize it. Like just that shouldn't be that small of a number. Shouldn't be what causes if it does cause a rift between you and a player. That shouldn't be the main reason why. Just because you don't want to pay them that extra little chunk of change that you would be giving him.
That said, he did go from best pitcher in baseball back to the worst pitcher in baseball, but maybe it's because he was having a bad attitude going into spring training.
Maybe he was mad.
Buying that, Steven? Giolito was so spurned by the 20 grand that he was like, you know what? I'm going to suck this year.
I'm just saying, his very first start of the year, he got injured and left the game. He missed some time.
Boom.
Right to the IL.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like, here's your 20 grand and stuff it.
And it was his worst season since his first full season in the majors. So, I don't know.
There we go.
Carlos
it
says,
definitely left a sour taste in his mouth, and it went into the season on the wrong note.
That's what I'm saying. You can't say for sure that it impacted his season, and if it did, he's probably not the type of guy that mentally is totally there, so that wouldn't be a good sign. But 20 grand? What 20 grand? Come on.
Yeah, you're a major league owner.
The guy.
You're a major league front office, and you're gonna piss off a guy over $20,000, which for Major League Baseball teams is nothing. It really is nothing. So that's the way I put it. If you're a front office.
I just looked it up. He filed at 7.5 mil. Sox countered at 7.3.
So yeah, they're
200,000.
20,000 miles. You're gonna piss.
20,000.
And maybe he didn't get pissed off. Whatever. Was it 200,000?
200,000.
Okay, 200,000. Okay, that's different.
Honestly,
but even that's still
200 grand. Come on.
It's a drop in the bucket for a billionaire.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like Lucas Giolito coming off a really good season for him. At that point, maybe the Sox first saw him having a bad season again, but it's like he just came off a really good season, and you're counting on him to be one of your best pitchers in that rotation. Just on the front office like that. That's not a needle moving amount of money. You know, I'm a major league team owner. I can afford that, and I don't want to piss off a guy who just came off a really good season.
Yeah, the Cubs should be to circle it around, like you said, Luke. It would be a great way to go into the convention with Horner or Happ extended or someone extended. Hell, I'd be excited if they extended Justin Steele. Yeah. But I think those other two guys are more deserving. I think Steele still has a lot to prove. But yeah, I mean, and I say it because like it's been a non-stop discussion. Like this team doesn't care about his players. Jed doesn't want to do this. Blah blah blah. Like
players in Little League know Ricketts is cheap. Michael Collada.
Right, like, it would make me feel better. It would give me some optimism about the future on whether it's signing free agents or even keeping other players around. So whatever, man.
Was there somebody on the roof behind us? By the way,
apparently
there was. Yeah,
there was somebody walking around behind us.
Oh, naked guy was out there yesterday.
He was. Are you kidding me?
He wasn't naked. He had a hoodie on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mention it because we were in the middle of our.
Was it one of our hoodies?
Stuff. No, unfortunately not.
We should send him one.
We should send it over there. Just find out.
Just walk out on the balcony and just throw it to him.
Just get like one of the T-shirt cannons and be like, "Hey, naked man."
Get Benny the Bull to shoot it in a cannon across the balcony.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, naked man, put a shirt on. Just send it over to him. There we go.
All right. Anyways. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, committed to helping families and businesses in the communities we serve manage energy usage and lower bills now and into the future. ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across our territory. Customers can inquire about how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money-saving efficient LED lights. Learn more about network lighting to operate your lights through your mobile device and track your facility's energy usage and more. Incentives have recently increased for indoor-outdoor lighting and network lighting controls, making these projects even more cost-effective than ever before. Visit ComEd.com/poweringbiz now to start saving money and energy. And to start a project, you can contact us at 1-855-433-2700. For more information, you can email businessee@comed.com or publicsectoree@comed.com. Sun's out, Ryan.
Yeah, I was going to say, the ComEd lighting is so bright along with the sun, I got to put my shady rays on. It's the only way to block it out, right?
Yeah, Ryan wore the sweatshirt. I thought it was going to be sun's out, guns out, but
not today.
His tardiness, he kept the jacket on.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. Had to be modest today. Couldn't be bragging because then you guys would just yell at me for being late.
$275.
Yeah.
$275.
Yeah, I didn't even have to mention it today. But Shady Rays never understood why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out to change it. You don't have to break the bank for sunglasses this fall because our friends at Shady Rays have you covered. Shady Rays are premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. The best part about Shady Rays, they have the most insane protection program in all of eyewear, lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your shades on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You drop them in the lake, off a cliff, anything, they'll replace them. Even with that strong of a protection program, they still managed to make quality that I can tell you, hold it in my hand, wearing on my face. I mean, Luke can look at me right now and tell you right now, it seems just as good as any expensive pair that I have ever worn. Shady Rays customers seem to agree with over 200,000 5-star reviews. Shady Rays also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed and have donated over 20 million meals to date. They stand behind their product and told our team that if anyone has a problem, they throw profit out the window and do what it takes to get it right. You get free returns and exchanges. You either love the shades or Shady Rays will pay to ship them back. That's it. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use code CHGO for 50% off 2 or more pairs at ShadyRays.com. That's buy one, get one free, BOGO. You can get 2 pairs for as low as $54. Redeem that code CHGO for 50% off only at ShadyRays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades.
We want to make sure everybody that's watching on YouTube has subscribed to the podcast. Make sure you do all the likes and thumbs up. Give us some positive reviews.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
Someone left a review on Apple that said that I say like way too much.
Yeah.
What do they mean?
So I like whenever whenever I'm describing things, I'll say like way too much.
Like I don't think you do.
I've actually been trying to stop doing it, but I know that I'm still doing it, so I apologize.
And we're
it was a review that I feel like at least there's some substance to it that I can take away from it to get better.
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, it's not like that other review that said that Brendan typing during the him and Corey show was why he gave a 1-star. And
well, Brendan's got to relax with the typing.
Well, that only happened one time.
Heavy fingers.
He has heavy fingers.
Yeah.
Listen,
but he doesn't say like.
And
maybe he does. I don't know.
For that comment, okay, constructive criticism, that is nice.
Yeah.
We whatever criticism you want to give is fine. Also, keep in mind, we're just a little more casual.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Right? We're sitting here in hats and shades and
Shady Rays specifically.
We are very casual here. That's kind of like
we're just
our
hanging out.
Yeah.
So if Cody
would you rather us put on suits? I ain't gonna do it, but would you rather us?
No.
I got a lot of them collecting dust. We could all.
I'll say Luke's done that enough in his life.
Ryan and Luke can come in here wearing suits. I still ain't gonna do it unless Jake tells me I need to.
I have an entire closet full of them just collecting dust.
I will never wear a suit unless I absolutely am forced to.
Yeah.
They're now.
I was a big suit guy. Or dress up guy.
Your salmon suit at that wedding.
Oh
yeah,
that was just the jacket.
I like to get real vibey with the suits when it comes to weddings.
We got your picture right down here wearing the suit.
Yeah, I was at a wedding. When it comes to weddings, I'll get up for it.
Ryan looks like Secret Service in the hat and shades.
Yeah,
right.
FBI. I need a suit. I need a suit to make the whole thing work, but I'm not going to do that.
POTUS is coming down the road right now.
Attention, parking spot just opened outside.
Parking spot opened up for POTUS. He'll be here momentarily. Dustin Allen says, dudes doing guy stuff.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of dudes. So Jared put this in the Slack. He saw an email that he got saying David Ross is technically less handsome than Buck Showalter and Terry Francona. Ross named the 4th most handsome manager of 2023, according to Beauty Technology Analysis. I don't know anything about Beauty Technology Analysis. However, I will agree with one thing that they have said, and that is MLB, quote, MLB managers in their 50s are aging like fine wines, end quote. You should see broadcasters. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Managers.
Pat Hughes has aged like fine wine.
Right. Terry Francona, better than David Ross. I saw Terry Francona, and I hope he doesn't watch this podcast.
I bet Gabe Kapler's number 1.
No, Buck Showalter was number 1.
Buck Showalter?
Buck Showalter was number 1.
That doesn't make any
It doesn't make any sense at all. And Terry Francona, I saw during the
you said it. I'm sorry.
during the winter meetings on MLB Network, and I thought to myself, his head has exploded. Like he's really taken on some extra.
How is okay? I guess
So Gabe Kapler's not even in the top 4.
Yeah, according to this press release, which again,
Huh.
I was more focused on the fact that David Ross was ranked number 4, more so than hearing what the other 3 were. So,
Well,
yeah,
he's a handsome man. I'll give it to him. But
what's her name? Tori DeVito.
Is that who David Ross is dating? He's dating an actress.
Yeah,
Who's Buck Showalter hanging out with these days?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Can we Google that? It was Buck Showalter.
Maybe he's married.
Buck
I don't know.
Showalter wife. Or
Turns
girlfriend.
out he's married to Kate Upton. What?
Yeah, I want to know who was.
Angela Showalter.
I want to know who was.
Steven. This is Buck Showalter's wife.
Who was asked this question? Like,
She
who
seems
was
like a
polled?
lovely lady.
Who was
Lovely.
polled for this questionnaire
Queen
on the
status.
handsome managers? So I don't know. Is it saying that press release who was in this poll?
I don't know. I will say this, and this is not. I don't want this to be taken as anything derogatory. We saw Buck Showalter's wife. She looks like she'd be working at the lunch line at school, right? Right?
God.
Doesn't
I
that,
did get that vibe too. Yeah.
right? No, and I love the lunch lady.
Yeah.
The lunch lady was my best friend.
She also looks like
Sloppy
someone you might see at the
Joes, Sloppy
DMV.
Joes.
What?
I said she also looks like someone you might see at the DMV.
Possible, but lunch lady land. If we had Adam Sandler,
Not even
we
going
just
to
had
comment on
that.
this one. I'm going to stay out of it.
Anyway,
Lovely lady.
my
Good
point
for
is,
Derek
I think
David Ross.
I don't know David Ross, but I know what his reaction would be to turning up 4th in that, and it would be double birds.
Yeah,
the precedent is already.
If we ever
been
get him
set.
on the podcast, that's going to be my first question. What was your thoughts the moment you heard them?
and
That you were number 4 most handsome manager.
I guarantee you, he gets asked that at Cubs convention.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
He will for sure, and it'll be by Ryan Dempster in the After Dark or whatever
Yeah.
on the mound segment that he does.
Whatever he did.
Dusty Baker, 6th overall in his 70s. I got to admit, Dusty looks pretty good for a guy in his 70s.
That toothpick does something for him.
Maybe it's the toothpick, maybe it's the wristbands, maybe it's the barbecue gloves that he's been wearing the last couple seasons. But in general, I would say Dusty looks pretty young for a guy in his 70s.
Yeah, I would say so. When he was with the Cubs, he was, he doesn't look too much different from when he was with the Cubs as the manager.
I think he had a little more facial hair.
How
when
long
he
has
was
it
with the
been
Cubs.
since
He did.
Dusty was the manager of the Cubs?
What,
Like 20
17
years, right?
My
going on?
timeline is
No,
blurry.
06 was his
06?
last season. So going on 17 years now. It's been 16 years since he got fired. I think he got fired. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah,
Because then they
still
hired
not happy about it.
They hired Lou
Maybe
in
be a
07.
scapegoat.
Yeah.
They hired Lou for the 2007 season. So it's going on at least 16, 17 years now. However you do the math. Lucas said Kapler probably has too many tats for the beauty group. I don't know.
I don't even know who this beauty group is. Or is it like?
What is like what?
I don't know. Do we know what beauty technology analysis is? Is
Well,
that an app?
The thing is, I get like sent random
Dusty looks
surveys and random press releases for things I don't care about. And like I don't even know what they're talking about half the time. So it may be one of those where like they just started sending it out to people in Chicago media. Like, hey, we surveyed our own people at our company, but here's David Ross, number 4. I don't know.
I mean, the guy was on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
What's Buck Showalter ever done?
He was also on Saturday Night Live too.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
In a cutoff, I want to say too.
Yeah. And he twerked.
Yeah. No, wasn't it? Did he twerk with Rizzo? I know
Yeah.
Rizzo twerked.
Well, I thought they were all twerking.
I don't
Sorry.
know. I don't know if David Ross can twerk. Maybe that's another question he should get asked at the Cubs convention.
So Cody alerted us to something very, very important. There are now odds out. You can now place wagers on Matt Mervis to win Rookie of the Year on DraftKings.
You can.
And
You
now,
can also place a wager on Brennan Davis to win NL Rookie of the Year at plus 9,000 if you want to.
9,000. Now,
Yeah.
again, for those that are new to wagering, plus 1,200 means bet 100, win 1,200.
I believe so. I believe that.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So if you
Do the
bet
math.
100,
Yeah, how do you not know that?
so if you bet 100 on Brennan Davis,
I'm never putting
you
100
could
bucks
win
on
9,000.
Space of
Yeah,
what?
I
What-
guess.
Bet on
yeah.
$100 bet on Brennan Davis would net you $9,000.
Believe
Wait,
so.
Brendan Davis is plus 9,000.
Yeah, to win
Then,
Rookie of the Year. Yeah, for the National League, of course.
I mean, that's insane.
We
value.
should pool together just $100 between the three of us, because if he shows in spring training that he's ready to go and somehow made the team.
Now, another thing you can bet that I was looking in the MLB market, you can bet division winners. They have the Cubs at plus 650 right now. Cardinals at minus 120 is the favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna not bet on that one.
Yeah,
The division winner? Well, if the Cardinals have some what if Goldschmidt goes down or Arenado goes down?
I mean, I guess, but
do you think the Cubs pitching is better than Cardinals right now?
probably more depth.
Flaherty, you can't count on Flaherty.
I do like Jack Flaherty though. I'd probably say definitely
love
the,
Jack Flaherty on the Cubs.
depth of good starting pitchers is probably better on the Cubs side right now. Didn't the Cardinals sign someone this offseason?
Mervis plus.
Oh, they lost
1200.
Quintana, who had
Quintana.
actually had a really good run with them last year.
Yeah, don't remind me about it.
See this? the
Wainwright's old.
whole- yeah, real old.
Yeah.
Almost as old as me.
Miles Michaelis is probably one of their top pitchers right now. He was an all-star, I want to say, this last year.
Pitched 200 innings last year. I
Yeah.
thought.
So,
But at plus 1200 for Mervis, right?
Yep.
And I know we're probably all overvaluing Matt Mervis,
I think.
but that's what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now you wait on it because say he doesn't start the year with the Cubs and he comes up in like May. I bet those odds are lower or higher, I mean. And you get it at a better price.
well, especially when we consider the fact that, as we expect to happen, Mervis not coming out of the gate starting every single day, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, those odds will probably increase just because he's not starting every day. Maybe starts a little bit behind because of that in terms of the Rookie of the Year race.
Yeah, but if he plays enough to hit the bombs,
yeah.
that gets the Rookie of the Year
And-
votes, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like how he said wait a little bit. If he's not playing right out the gate and these other guys are, that probably increases his odds from what are they at 1,200 to 1,400, 1,500. You might get a little more value on
Yeah.
it until he really starts playing. And if he really starts playing right, pretty quickly and starts taking off, then you're like, he actually has a legit shot
Now,
at Rookie of the Year.
Again, it's at DraftKings. You can do it. I still like the idea, and I pitched this last season. I don't know if Jake's listening over there. I think he's in a meeting. But I would like us to have a CHGO account, all right? So a CHGO Cubs account on DraftKings. And then I would also like, CHGO Blackhawks, CHGO White Sox. And we each get like $200 to start the season. Each time your season starts, you get $200 to place your wagers. And that would allow the three of us to start. And if we want to fund more money of our own money, if we all want to split it and be like, okay, this is who's going to be in the account. So if we decide to make this bet, all six of us on the CHGO Cubs account have to agree that, yes, we are going to put in $20 each on this bet, and we're going to make this bet.
Well, I like that.
So if one person's out, everybody's out.
Okay.
But if you're all in, that money all gets split amongst the people that are in on it. So Brendan could be in on it. Corey could be in on it. Jared could be in on it. Maybe Joey wants to get in on it. Whoever wants to be part of the Cubs one, it has to be all in or nothing. Or it's just the three of us.
DraftKings has a really cool feature too, where you could do groups now and see who's betting what, and you could copy your friend's bet or
Really?
see how they won their money.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you
yeah.
can do
You can,
groups.
you can
Do-
create
yeah.
a group on there. They have like a social feed on there too that you can share your bets
Wow.
on there.
But see, I don't want to bet. I don't
why
personally
DraftKings is
want
the
to
best.
bet.
That's why
I don't
DraftKings is the
personally
best.
want to bet $100
Yeah.
to win $1,200 on Mervis. But if you tell me we're splitting $100 three ways to win the $1,200 on Mervis, now I'm a little more interested.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
And the same thing goes for the crazy Brendan Davis deal,
yeah. Yeah.
right? Because $9,000, like
Yeah.
That's fair.
$100, okay.
I like, at 12
like
plus
$5 on
1,200.
that
That's
when,
cool. I will say this though, at the end of last season,
45.
Suzuki and Morel were top 3 in like lowest odds to win NL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Ended up being Harris, right? I think it was Strider, Harris, and then it was Suzuki and Morel.
I think there was another. I don't think either Morel or Suzuki were finalists for that.
Really?
I want to say it was Strider, Harris, and someone else that I can't remember. Maybe someone in the chat remembers.
Well, as far as like the markets on
Yeah.
DraftKings, or just on the sports book. So who knows? But
Do you like that, though? The CHGO Cubs account. I know
hope
we could
Jake is
do it on
listening.
our own, but it would be nice to be, given a little fun to start the thing.
Yeah.
Brendan
Just a little-
Donovan was the other finalist.
I would also, I also feel like if not like Mervis or Davis, like eventually DraftKings will have. Eventually, DraftKings will have a.
How many likes he said in that one sentence?
So,
Oh,
shut up!
man.
Shut up!
I'm trying to help you.
Listen, the tardiness does not allow for that shot today. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
He brought it up himself.
Well, shut up. I'm done.
Ryan, how many likes for a penalty shot of Malort for being late? How many likes will we need?
How many likes?
We're at
Oh, a couple
26
hundred.
right now.
Couple hundred.
We got 86 watching.
50.
50
Oh,
likes for
50
Ryan
likes
to
for
take a
Ryan to
penalty
do
And
shot
what-
of Malort.
Likes and also what about, have you subscribed?
Yeah.
Ooh.
If we see subscriptions go up.
Oh, shit. It just raised to 27. Like as I was
start.
saying that. Oh, no, it's at 29 now. Okay,
Likes,
let's
likes.
get going.
If we can get to 100 likes, there's no question he should do Malort.
Let's get this. Okay, 100 for 100.
You
75.
can't switch it
We'll
now.
meet in the middle. Fine. Okay, I'll say at 50, but I'm not going to do it on camera.
What I was gonna say before Ryan rudely interrupted me with all the times I say is eventually DraftKings will have a market for every team on if they will make or miss the playoffs, and I feel like that one would be one that we could track and would be a lot more fun for us if we all gypped
Yeah.
in. And the odds won't be as good, but I bet when they release them, I bet the Cubs will be somewhere around plus 200, plus 300, somewhere in that range to make or miss or to make the playoffs. And I bet they're a favorite
Yeah.
to miss the playoffs. But if we all wanted to put $20 in to bet on that, then we could that would be good. And I just said again. I'm sorry.
Well, CHGO Sports has put out that 50 likes from Ryan Herrera takes a shot of Malort.
Yeah, and Shane said 50 for me, 100 for the whole squad. So
Yeah, well, this podcast will end right at 99. So that's how that'll work out, just so you know.
let's pick up the pace. Let's get the
Yeah.
show on the road here.
On
Well,
the
since we
likes,
started late, we got to go a little bit longer now,
All right,
too.
fine.
yeah,
whatever.
we're going to stretch it out.
Fine.
DraftKings pick of the week, Cody. What?
Oh,
You
since
know-
we're already talking about
Well, yeah,
DraftKings,
you
right?
could do Mervis could be your pick of the week, pick of the year / but it seems like,
Oh, you want? I can give you something for tonight.
yeah, give me something for tonight.
And Cubs plus 650 to win the division is at least fun. All right, it's better than last year. Last year they were like plus 1,200, so at least there's some hope from Vegas this year.
Do you have maybe an NFL one too with the playoffs coming?
Ooh, okay, I'll give 2 just because I'm a nice
No
guy.
Tua, no Dolphin, no. Tua
I
for the Dolphins.
love. I was telling this guy. I was at a bar last night. I was telling this guy that I loved the Giants. The Giants money line plus 135 against the Vikings this weekend because the Vikings are a bunch of frauds.
Fair.
So I like that. I also like the Bucks, but whatever. But tonight I'm riding Pittsburgh plus 8.5 against Duke, the Duke Blue Devils. Pittsburgh, ranked number? They're in 3rd place in the ACC. They just beat Virginia.
Yeah.
They beat UNC. Now they're 8-point dogs against Duke. I don't get it. So I'm hammering the Panthers. Give me Pittsburgh plus 8.5 tonight.
Mizzou pick of the week plus 4.5 at Texas A&M tonight.
Oh,
Did you see my tweet?
I did not see your tweet.
I sent a tweet this morning with all my picks for tonight, and I have Mizzou plus 4.5.
There we go.
how about that? By the way,
Found it.
Evil Wax 73 has nailed it. I used to do lookalikes, people that look like other people, right? He says, I've been thinking about who Buck Showalter's wife looks like, and it's Edie McClurg, the assistant to the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. If you can find those 2 pictures, that is absolute
God.
gold. Because I can picture her on the phone in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and those are... but it's
my
got to be
gosh.
from Ferris Bueller's Day
Yeah, like
Off.
that-
There
that
she is.
4th picture.
With the blue shirt.
There, that 4th picture. Oh,
He's a righteous dude.
that's such a good movie.
Yeah, that one.
We'll see if we can get. We got
Come on.
a few minutes. We got a few minutes left.
Oh,
Game Time Tickets is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. If you've ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you never thought you could, 50-yard line, courtside, behind home plate, floor seats to a concert, it's possible with the Game Time app. The biggest last-minute price drops can be found on seats you never thought you could buy. What concerts are coming to the United Center soon? Anything? I don't know of any big ones right now. I haven't heard anybody be like, oh, Harry Styles or whatever that guy's name is.
I do know that Morgan Wallen's coming to Wrigley.
I don't know that
in
person
June,
either.
but that's the only concert that I've thought about.
You won't find a better deal this season on Bulls tickets created by the fans for the fans, guaranteeing the lowest price. If you love CHGO, you're going to love Game Time, and the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and score the best seats to all your favorite events.
Guys, I'm looking at, I just Googled Angela Showalter. I don't know who that is, but that's not her.
You don't think that's Buck
No,
Showalter's
I
wife?
Googled Angela Showalter, and this is who it is. It's a completely different person.
Well, this could be his second wife. That might be wife number one.
It
We
could
don't
be,
know.
I guess. I don't know.
The first one came up in Wikipedia, didn't it?
I don't know who that is.
Either way, whoever that woman is in the red hoodie, right there, lovely woman, does look a little bit like E. McClurg from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Not a little. She looks a lot like her.
Yeah.
I guess so. But yeah, I mean, this random person that we found on Wikipedia on Google, and
Someday Angela Showalter's going to Google herself, and she's going to be like, what is CHGO, and why are they talking about me?
like, why are they using a
On
picture that's
YouTube.
not even me?
Imagine if that's, it could be somebody's mom out there watching right now. They're like, Mom, they just talked about you.
They could.
Randomly Googled photos of
Mom.
Angela Showalter.
Mom, why is your picture under Angela Showalter on Google? Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So we got the big convention coming up.
Yep. No, yeah.
Is everybody in the chat excited about it? I've seen super fans out there like Crawley are just like losing their mind about being able to go back
Mike
to the
Dubs said
convention.
he's going to be there.
Yeah,
I'm sure everyone in this chat is probably going to be there. At least most of you. And I think we're really all looking forward to meeting you all.
Yeah.
If you're there.
I was in our good friend Dom Frederick's Twitter space last night, and we were talking about the convention. He might be there. So
Under disguise.
under disguise,
Okay.
probably. But
12 more likes to get that Malort. For
I
Ryan.
think
It's actually at 13 right now.
I think if for once, I think
I see 13
fans
right
are
now.
excited about the Ricketts
Log on and-
the Ricketts panel. I think that the fan.
Yeah.
the panel's going to be interesting.
Yeah, like it's definitely going to be the most interesting thing that has nothing to do with autographs and pictures and with players and stuff like that. So
Yeah, the
I am
Ricketts one is going to be
intrigued to see how that
big.
goes.
The Ricketts one's going to be big, and then the baseball operations update with Jed and Carter will be big. I just as far as we just know from our chat and our show how many questions Cubs fans have and the frustrations and whatever. We can just tell that from our chat, and we only have 78 people in here right now. Imagine how many people are going to be at the Cubs convention wanting to ask the Ricketts family, Jed Hoyer, Carter Hawkins, all those people. They want to ask them questions about this offseason, what the future holds, all that stuff. So, I mean, I don't know how hostile it'll get, but there will be unhappy fans that want to ask questions. I'll tell you that much. I could just tell just the way Cubs Twitter's acted, our chat, and just the general overall feeling of what this offseason was. There are
you should
people
see
that
Cubs
aren't.
Facebook, man. It's even worse.
Oh God, I don't go on Cubs Facebook, but you can tell just from that just how much how many questions people have about the direction of this franchise, and so that those two panels for sure are going to be filled with a lot of I would consider them like kind of hard hitting questions, like
Contentious.
maybe contentious, maybe a little hostility there, Just the Cubs, after the last couple seasons and the first Cubs convention in 3 years, like I get a feeling there's going to be a lot of unhappy people there that want answers.
Dust it out. Luke got on his phone to give it a
I
like.
think Luke created a YouTube
Dude,
account
look,
just to give it a like.
Not Steve.
Figure it out
Steve.
somehow.
I haven't put a photo in there yet. I don't want to give the internet too much information.
So, but we'll be there though, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know. Jared and I will be there both days. You're going Friday?
I think me and Casey are going there Friday to do some
Opening
like,
ceremony.
Yeah, to do some like fan interactions and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
Saturday. Maybe I'll sneak away to the Ricketts pan and be like, yeah, Luke from CHGO, I got a question for Tom.
You're Steve from CHGO.
Steve from CHGO, I got a question for Tom. And this is my buddy Michael Collada wants to know. Are you cheap?
Why are you cheating? Oh my god.
No, yeah. So you guys will be there. Luke and I will be there doing stuff Saturday, along with Jared as well. So, especially at the opening ceremony where you guys will be at, if you got your CHGO gear, you might as well wear it. You want to go take pictures with Cody and Casey and myself and Jared on Friday in your CHGO gear. Let us know you're there.
I wonder who's going to do the big. I assume it's Cubs Productions. Will do the video. You know, it used to always be Bob Vorwald of WGN would put together the big hype video that they would show to get the fans ramped up for the players coming out. I assume that's, you know, going to have a little of the drone video from last year maybe mixed in there.
Yeah.
Some behind-the-scenes stuff. I expect that to be pretty good. We'll see. 6 more likes. Much longer?
I feel like we have to get off.
We're at 2:21 in Lawrence. The law is circling around producer Steven over there, just trying to get us off the air.
We do got to get off the set for the Blackhawks.
But if we had 6 more likes, we could end it with a shot of Malort for Ryan Herrera for being tardy.
Sorry. Like
I
agree with Law.
Just short.
We want to give Law as much time as possible to get the Blackhawks crew set up. So I think we should. End the show.
You know, we got time. This is the first time in the history of the show. It's like, oh, we got time.
The first time Law isn't rushing us off the set. Every minute we're at past 2:20.
We need 5 more.
Also,
end this damn show, man.
I just spilled my water for whoever's coming over to do the Hawks podcast next. Poor Jay's going to be like, is this chair wet?
Oh, my God. Put an end to the show, please.
48.
Please.
We haven't hit an hour yet. We got 3 minutes.
We got 3 minutes because we started late.
I was late.
We should have to wait to the 1 hour mark.
And then the Blackhawks crew is going to be late to their show. We don't want to make them
the guy
late.
on the roof to like the video.
Come on.
We should be asking the naked guy.
2 more. Chris voted.
I want to take a shot of Malort right now at 2:22 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Oh, the Hawks guys are circling.
Yeah,
nothing would be more Chicago.
We better go.
And
one more though. One more
show.
One more like.
Show.
Guys, I'm showing 50 likes on YouTube.
There it is.
I see 49.
My Dub says 50. Shane says 50.
I got it right here.
I'm seeing 49 on my side. Look, I'm taking it. Oh, there's 50.
There it is. Sean says, "Come on, you bums."
This is a dangerous precedent because I'm never doing the Lord on this show. I'm going to tell you right now.
This is just for Ryan. It's time. You want me to pour it for you?
Here's what I think we should do. He either does it now, which is a little questionable considering he's about to get in a car.
Fair.
Second would be we give him enough that he goes when he gets home, he has to take a video of his shot. We need a social media.
It has to be on social media.
It has to be on social media.
I may end up dropping it in the car. Like, you never really know.
Twice.
Well, maybe your penalty is to go buy some Malort.
Yeah, I'm riding with the chat here.
Why did I say 50? What am I doing?
Make it a half a shot.
Apparently wasn't because it got there.
Yeah, I mean,
a half a shot is no different than a little mouthwash. That's plenty.
That's plenty of Malort. I don't need to do any more than that.
You guys will play a couple games of ping pong.
All right, sign off, please.
Thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook. Make sure you download the app and use the promo code CHGO when you sign up. We're back at 1:20 on Thursday with another podcast. Until then, Malort, if you will, and fly the W. Down.